So not only are rescue crews already running into all these obstacles because we are still seeing a lot of high water in a lot of areas, but as Bill was saying, we're expecting to see more rain tonight, and just a few inches of rain could make matters much worse. So this is something that we're watching very closely. Canyon Lake Dam, they talked about that, Bill. They're monitoring that very closely. It's holding now, which is good, but that is something that they're looking at as well and monitoring.
Yeah, it sounds like the governor's office in close contact with the, Army Corps of Engineers, and they said it will not be compromised tonight or tomorrow. We've got more rain in the forecast. I'm just reading the Slack channel, and this is for emergency management, National Weather Service, meteorologists like myself, that this is the information that's being handed down. The river observations from the National Weather Service at Kerrville could be a little suspect because they can't get to a lot of these gauges. The water is so high that at the moment we're going to have to wait for the water to return to normal flow before USGS crews can safely access the sensors at the river channel to perform maintenance. And so there could be, some of these totals that we're getting on the Guadalupe, at Kerrville, we're going to have to wait for that water to come down and get below those sensors in order to get more accurate readings on the water levels. And then the other one that just came in, listen to this, Bergheim, Texas. If you don't know where that is, it's on Highway 46, essentially between Bernie and New Braunfels. And it says that the flood wave has reached the Bergheim River gauge. This is the Guadalupe. It's seeing a 5 to 6 foot jump every 15 minutes. And so I'm interested to hear from Mike Jimenez, who we have in Spring Branch, to see what the Guadalupe River is doing there. Let me a second to put my phone down and my glasses. But, that's impressive. 5 to 6 feet every 15 minutes. Now the rain. You can see it's light. So this is very good news. But where this pocket of yellow and dark green is, that's a steady rain that continues. And it's essentially between Harper and Kerrville. Even those yellows have dissipated, and that's very good news, but this is still just a very, very light rain that continues to fall on top of these unbelievable rainfall amounts that we've seen. So in and around the city, it was under 2 inches near Fair Oaks, about ½ an inch at San Antonio International, 1 inch in Medina Lake, and then about 7.5 near Bandera. The real spot, the bullseye, if you will, western Kerr County, 10 to 11 inches of rain right over Hunt and Ingram. Now, that's why we have such a large flash flood warning that is extended all the way across central Kendall County, just about all of Kerr, with the exception of this spot up to the north, and then even a good piece, I would say about a third, of Bandera County. Notice also, this is the Medina River into Medina Lake under warning. And then, as I mentioned, with this is Bergheim, right about here. This is Highway 46, what we consider the outer loop, our third loop, okay? And 46 runs right in between I-10, 281. Bergheim's right about here, and that water level going up 5 to 6 feet every 15 minutes. Flood watch extended to 7 p.m. tonight. I do expect this personally to be extended overnight and through Saturday morning with the additional rains that are on the way. Right now, we're still socked in, visibility pretty low looking into downtown. We've got 80 on the thermometer, so we've warmed up just a little bit, but it is still so humid. 90% humidity because the dew point's only 3 degrees away from the air temperature. So if that 80 went to 77, that would mean saturation. Relative humidity would be 100%, and the atmosphere could not hold any more water. And it is, again, a light rain falling at the airport. We've got some upper 80s starting to show up now. It's really warming up in Floresville, Stockdale, closer to 90 at Lavernia and Seguin, too. But then you've got 73 at Bandera and at Bernie as well. 4th of July. We heard about Bernie canceling fireworks. Woodlawn Park is still moving forward, and so we'll see. It's about a 9 o'clock start time on the fireworks there. We should just be under cloudy skies. It will be humid, it will be breezy, and let's root for these winds. Because you see, it really is a race against the clock right now because more rain's coming. And so if we've got a good amount of hours that were dry, and the winds can pick up, that will further dry things out because we're not obviously going to clear out enough to get some much needed sunshine. I mean, I'm optimistic that maybe a sliver or two, 6 to 8 p.m. before we get that sundown. I'm hoping. Temperature-wise, mid-70s should hold true, maybe 81 as we warm up just a little bit before the sunset at about 6 o'clock. But this is the concern. As early as midnight, but then certainly by overnight hours, we're expecting more rain with a 50% coverage into Saturday morning. And this will be a weather impact alert for at least half of Saturday before we can drop rain chances on Sunday, hit about 93, a little more seasonal. 90 is a stretch for Saturday. We might even only hit about 88, maybe 89. All right, a couple of good reminders in this situation. Don't ever underestimate the power of water. 6 inches of water can knock you off your feet. It will not take much, and it's only moving at, say, a couple of miles per hour at about a walking pace. It is an incredible force. Only about a foot up, halfway across your tire, can take your car off the road. Once you get upwards of, say, 18.5 to 2 feet, then you're taking any SUV or truck right off the road. And keep in mind the hydroplaning. We're going to deal with standing water for several hours tonight, even tomorrow. So I know in and around the city, as well as, of course, on any area roadways, be very, very careful as that tread. The grooves will be funneling the water, the tire in full contact with the road. But then as you pick up speed and you go to 65 miles per hour, now the grooves fail to funnel enough, and now your tire is above and on top of the water, not making contact with the road. And that's when you hydroplane and lose control of your car. So please be very, very careful in these driving conditions. In fact, if at all possible, just stay home. This flood risk will continue through tomorrow morning. Lightning has been an issue with some of these heavier tropical storms, but we're not concerned with anything severe. No flood, no hail, no high wind, no tornadic threat. Just a flood threat as the flood watch and flood warning continues. This is one of the ingredients and one of the reasons why we've got an abundant amount of precipitable water in the atmosphere. It still remains there despite raining out double digits over the hill country. We're going to keep an ample amount of moisture in the atmosphere through tomorrow afternoon. And you can see it lets up just a little bit. We start moving down this scale a tad, but not enough. Not until really Sunday, Monday timeframe do we really start getting on the drier side of things. And this is in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Down here at the surface, east and southeast winds continue to funnel in a lot of moisture. So the dew points are still high, which gives us an excessive rain forecast. We're in a level 2 in San Antonio tonight, and that's a level 3 at Kerrville. On Saturday, we reduce this. It's a level 2 for Kerrville and a level 1 for Saturday here. All right, future radar before I let you go. Couple of showers begin to develop after midnight, and then we expect some thunderstorms near New Braunfels tomorrow morning. And then look at this, developing and drifting west this go around, and coverage increases, especially with thunderstorm activity by tomorrow afternoon with a little more heating. And this is from Bernie, covering all of Kendall County. This is where we do not need another drop, and it looks like very heavy rain overnight into tomorrow morning before it starts to let up by Saturday afternoon and certainly by Saturday night. So we still, Henry, Sarah, have a lot of rain in this forecast, an additional 2 inches of rain possible overnight tonight and into early Saturday.
And we can't emphasize enough one of the points that we heard from every official that has spoken at any of the press conferences today, to please stay off the roads, please stay at home. We don't want to make the situation any more worse than what it already is, and all the casualties that we're already seeing out there, especially with more rain coming in, Bill.
Yeah, thanks so much, Bill, for that report.